Hi, welcome to the channel. This is Moyna Bass Fishes. I'm Jim Moyna, and I bass fish like all the time and have been like since I can remember. In this video, we're going to talk about something that sponsors value highly in the people they sponsor. And this is something they look for. And if you're somebody looking for sponsorship, you have to be absolutely aware of what I'm about to tell you, okay? Sponsors are interested in people that have outgoing personalities, extroverts, people that are out there, they're comfortable in front of the crowds. You can't shut them up off the mic, okay? That's what they're looking for. Because it is these types of people that have fans gravitate them. They have bigger audience. They have bigger fan bases. And bigger fan bases for sponsors means that their products, their logos, their brands are going to be presented in front of a greater audience when they align themselves with a very outgoing type of personality. Two examples: Gerald Swindell. Okay, he's been around a long time. That guy's hilarious. He's got a huge fan base because he's so quick-witted. He's very colorful in his storytelling. He has just an uncanny or just a unique ability to just add tons of flavor to whatever fishing story that he's telling. And as fishing fans, we want to hear more from Gerald Swindell. I mean, when we go to a weigh-in, he's on our checklist that we don't want to be in the restroom when Gerald Swindell gets up on stage with his bag of fish. Okay? We want to make sure we're in the crowd. We're not somewhere else at that moment. He's just one of those, I gotta hear what Gerald has to say. Another guy, an old-timer, Jimmy Houston, he was that same type of way. That guy is on stage, very engaging, very entertaining, very colorful, and these types of personalities they just draw people to them. So not all of us are that type of person, though, right? These are like exceptionally, I don't know if they're gifted, I don't know if they were just born that way, I don't know if Gerald and Jimmy were born that way or if they developed that. I'm sure there was some development to it, for sure. There has to be. But that's too high of a ceiling for a lot of us, all right? Myself, for example, I'm more of a introverted type of personality, meaning I'm more quiet, more reserved. I keep more to myself. But that type of personality does not work well when you're trying to attract sponsors, when you're trying to hold sponsors, and when you're, and if you're trying to be compensated from these sponsors. I mean, a highly outgoing person is just generally probably going to have a higher compensated, or they're going to be paid more than someone who is not quite so outgoing. So me knowing that I'm an introverted person to begin with, or naturally, that's kind of my natural state. But because I'm aware of that, I'm aware of who I am. Now, I don't pretend to be somebody else when I'm out, when I'm on the microphone, when I'm on stage at a weigh-in. I don't pretend to be somebody else. But I do make sure that when my tournament jersey's on, the shell around me that keeps me away from people, that shell, I leave that behind. Okay, when I'm at a tournament or anytime I'm at any sort of function where I have my truck with my sponsor's logo all over it, or my boat with all the sponsor logos, or my tournament jersey that if I'm wearing that says Bridgeford Foods right across the chest in huge letters, and all my other sponsors, I'm aware that this is my moment. This is the time where I got to flip the switch in my brain and be outgoing and be someone that's I put myself out there where I'm accessible to the fans, because that's what it means to be sponsored. You need to be accessible to the fans, and you want to add to your fan base, because the strength of your fan base is kind of correlated to the strength of how well you're compensated by sponsors. So, and to the, you people out there that are like myself, this is what I can tell you. Don't pretend to be somebody else completely, okay? But you need to do this. You need to put yourself in as many situations as you can where you're in front of people, because you need to become comfortable in front of people. You need to become comfortable in front of microphones. So don't shy away from those opportunities, whatever they might be. Get in front of people. Take this microphone, wherever it might be. Okay? If you suffer from just not having confidence to do that kind of stuff, if you have fear of public speaking, which is super common, okay, you're not alone in that. There's so many people in this world have a legitimate fear of being in front of people and speaking. You have to get over it. You don't have to go take public speaking classes. What you need to do is just go out and do it. You need to get out in front of people and just be there. Be out in front. Push your limits, man. You got to push your limits, okay? Being a professional fisherman isn't just catching fish, okay? Sponsors like to sponsor somebody who catches fish, okay? They do like that. But actually, having a really outgoing personality is, a lot of sponsors will say that's more important, because they know that kind of a personality, that kind of a person. They know that kind of a person is going to get the brand out there. It's going to put that brand in front of more faces and more people. And that angler is going to, just because of their magnetic personality, is just going to attract people more. So that's what I have to say. Just be aware, okay? We're not all Gerald Swindell. We're not all Jimmy Houston, okay? But we can be the best version of ourselves. We need to take that shell off, no matter how uncomfortable it is, okay? You will get more comfortable. The more of these times you get out in front of people, in front of microphones, the easier it becomes. It may not ever become completely easy, but the easier it becomes. And if you work on it, you'll get better at it, and your sponsors will be thankful, and you may attract more sponsors, and you may be able to be compensated at a higher level by these sponsors. So anyhow, I just want to make everybody aware of that. A lot of you guys already know that. A lot of you guys don't even have to worry about it. You probably already shut this off, because you know you have outgoing personalities. But a lot of us don't, and it's something we got to work on, something we got to be aware of, and we can't just hide. The tournament world is a world. If you're looking to be sponsored by somebody, it's the fact that you have to be able to talk to people and talk to them at a comfortable level, be friendly with them. And interviews, you want to be, add a little spice to your interviews, okay? It might take some getting used to. I know I'm guilty as anybody is giving bland interviews a lot of times. But by spice, and what I mean by spice or flavor is just give some little tiny details of your day. Like if you have a tournament reporter asking you about how your tournament day went, just try to remember, hey, let's give them some little nuances of the day, some little details of the day, mention of how the morning dawn was like, the sky was brilliant red, and how how that affected your mood as you drove to your first spot in the morning, or talk about the bald eagle that you saw capture a fish, and in your mind it made you think how, if that silly bird over there can catch a fish, how come I haven't caught one for 2 hours? And then tell how that maybe bolstered your confidence, and pretty soon you started catching fish. Just whatever it is, bring those little details to the interview, and that's that little kind of flavor and color. That's what makes people want to hear more from you, and that's what builds your fan base, and that's what attracts sponsors to you. Over.